Hello everyone, and welcome to a Sunday Sews episode 54, I want to say, of Sequin Girly Creates. If you don't already, please subscribe. I'd love it if you give it a like or a comment because it really helps me to get seen. Right, let's start with what I'm wearing. I'm going to talk about this jumper in a minute. It is a me-made jumper using a fibre mood pattern, and I have this gorgeous necklace on here which is made by the crafty Antita. I will link her below. I love her jewellery. Right, okay, it is cold today. It is horrible outside. I've brightened everything as much as I can. I hope it's okay for you. I've just got that wintry vibe. Let's bring this down a bit further, see if that helps any further. Who knows? Right. Let's start with small sewing channel. Now I'm going to do a small sewing channel that I think I've done before, but the lovely Laura of Carpe Diem Stitcher is now so very Laura. So I would really love it if you head over and see the lovely Laura's channel. She decided to change her name because she felt that her name now reflects her more than the name she had before, which reflect her previous journey. I love her byline, creating a wardrobe that makes me smile. That fits very much with how I feel too. I've met the lovely Laura in real life as well. She came all the way from Wales to one of my socials. She's a wonderful person, and I would really love it if you could give her a follow on her channel because I think that she's great. Right, coming on the 30th, which is 4 days away, is an intro to the sewing vlogmas tour that Agatha from In Agatha's Cottage and I have set up so that it's like an advent calendar of vloggers for you. Every day visit the number and you'll get a different vlogger and a different thing to hear, see or do. We thought it makes it more manageable for those of us who can't vlog every day during Vlogmas, and also it gives you a bit of variety. So I've done a vlog to explain it, introduce everyone, and also in that one I'll show you what I managed to make for my gift to November as well. Right, I'm going to talk about jumpers. It is jumper weather. I am sat here without any heating on, and there's the steam train. They're building up for Santa Express soon, but the steam train's going fast. So, jumpers. It's jumper season if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, depending on how close to the equator you are. I have sewn up last year the Stella jumper in the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, and I like it, but my brain goes, can I do something a bit different? Is there variety? So I went off looking and I got myself the Closet Core Mile End sweatshirt because the lovely Sew Amelia showed how she'd done colour blocking on it. I then found the one I'm wearing on Fibre Mood, and it's called the Stella as well, a Stella sweatshirt. That's confusing, isn't it? Want to make for myself, but I'm also making as Christmas gifts. Also traced a sweatshirt for someone as part of a gift recently as well. And so I'm on an exploration, and then what I'll do is do you a vlog all about sweatshirt ideas, hacking ideas, because you know I love a hack, all that sort of thing. So this isn't finished, but I thought I'd put it on to show you. So I've got the cuffs on. Now I feel like I might have made the cuffs too loose. Not sure if I'm going to bring that in or not, but you don't always want a tight cuff. So cuffs are on. If you have a look, this was a striped fabric. It was a cheap French terry from Rainbow Fabrics that I bought purposely to be able to have a try of something. So this was perfect. This is an accidental pattern matching here because if you look, there's a piece here, this front piece, and then this gotta get this right now. This piece from here around here is the top part of the sleeve. So you might think it's a raglan, but it's not. It's a back wing because that goes all the way down. So that I did the direction of the stripe different to the front, and then I ended up with this amazing bit. And then it has a piece under here which goes from here to here, which is a separate piece as well, hence why I've got that. So you end up with this really interesting pattern. I think I spoke about it on my last week's vlog. I did, and I showed you the lady who'd put a lovely like floral piece in here. So I thought I'd see what happened when used stripe. I'll just swing round so you can see the back. And it is a cropped bat wing, but it's easy to remedy that because you just lengthen the bottom of the pattern a bit. But for someone like me who's 5'2", it's not as cropped as somebody with a longer torso. I'll just stand up. You can see it's coming to here. It is coming to my natural waist. And if I put a deep cuff on the bottom, then it's going to create an see, I've got that little bit of white. If I do black, it's going to be black all the way down. I'll have to think about that. I don't really want a white cuff, so but that's the playing around part of this. At the back, yeah. Anyway, I'm really happy with this trial. It feels very me, as I like to say. It's a bat wing. It's the 80s. What is there not to love? But what I would say is it is not a generous sweatshirt. So the fibre mood, I made the medium, which is the size 12 to 14. And normally that would be like if I bought a shop brought 12 to 14, that would be generous on me. This is not. So I think it's probably designed to be a bit more fitted. So I would say size up if you like a looser sweatshirt. So I'm actually, the one I'm making for someone, I'm going to do it in the medium as well. They are smaller than me, but I think the oversize will work better. And also the cuff on the waist is where you can sort of snug it in, and the cuff around the wrist. So the oversize, and then the collar is not too big. But I really like it as a pattern. I have to say, I don't know what other people think. I'd be interested in what you think. But for my first, I've got a couple of fibre mood patterns, but this is the first one where I've made it up. I actually printed out the instructions, which I don't often do because I normally read instructions on my phone. Deer and Doe, Closet Core, Friday Pattern Company. I have no problem reading on my phone. This, I felt I needed to print it because I needed to just really understand what they were saying, but also don't love their instructions. They're all right, but I don't love them. I really, because there was like these little pieces, I needed to be clear which piece was which, and they don't say it on the pattern. So I had the pattern printed out, fold line, and they're just numbered. It doesn't say number 1 neckband and how many to cut either. So I had to then go to the instructions and read how many to cut and then write it on my traced pattern pieces, because you've just got like 1 to 8. The pattern pieces are just numbered, and then you're going, well, how many of each? Their cut on the fold symbol is different from most cut on the fold symbols as well, and it doesn't, as I say, on the pattern it doesn't tell you how many. So I went back and told myself. So I would say if you are a beginner sewist, they don't quite make it as simple as some of the other a lot of the indie patterns, but once you are used to sewing, then I would say it's fine. But watch out for little things like that, like just telling you how many to cut and using the same symbol as everyone else. Right, I'm umming a lot today, sorry, it's just how I'm feeling today. I'm just thinking about the heating and no hot water because we don't have a shower, so there's no bath unless I boil a billion kettle. So yeah, just my mind's not quite 100% where it should be. So sorry, I have released the virtual social dates right up to April 2024 now, all bookable on Eventbrite. And I've done different days and times so that my lovely New Zealand, Australian friends can come to a morning one, because I was doing all the time zone maths. I've done some Friday ones, some Sunday ones, some Saturday ones. So I've really played around to give everybody a chance to fit with what happens in their lives to come if they want. I'm releasing right now, while this is going up, the in-person dates as well, right up to April 2024. Not doing one in January. My stepdaughter said to me, why not? January is a tired, lonely month. And I said, I'm doing 2 virtual ones. I just felt that beginning of January is too near New Year and everything. So if you need a dose of sewing, friends, join a virtual in January, but sorry, no in-person one. I just think I don't want to burn myself out. So there's a date for February, March and April. They all you've got to do is email me at southernsocial@gmail.com. I'll send you the booking details, but spaces are limited for the in-person one, so don't hang around is what I would say. I'll put the links below and everything. I am about to release this week coming a week in the life, so I'm recording that in between this, so you can see full info in that about our shopping trip to JB Fabrics. All the fabrics I got, I share them with you in there. Also a little bit behind the scenes of the virtual social as well. I'm just checking the time because I've only got 2 hours till that starts. So all of that will be in there. So plans. I've got a week, no, less than a week. I've got 5 days to finish my gift to November making. So right now I'm cutting out neck warmers and infinity scarves. I'm going to try and cut out and make some beanies. I've got a pair of joggers to make, another sweatshirt to make. I've started some Secret Santa gifts for my in-person social next weekend. So not a lot of physical things to show you, but quite a few things to tell you about. I will show you very briefly some things I got. I tried out Bombay Fabrics. Now, I've never bought from them before. I looked them up. I always get a bit twitchy when I've never heard of a company, and I haven't heard of anyone else buying from them. They have an in-person shop, and I found this, which I'm sure you've seen on other sites. This was £6.99 a metre. I was impressed that it is the same quality. I'm impressed with the speed of their delivery. Now, you know I love a small business. I'm going to be looking them up to see if they are a small business. But I wanted to test them out for you. So Bombay Fabrics is worth a look for my first shopping experience there. There will be more to test it out because you know me, I like to test things out for you. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned to you, but I've never shopped from Beyond the Pink Door. I've watched her vlogs, I've seen everybody else's lovely things, and I fell down a hole. She had some remnants, some sale items. I can't remember what led my mindset to think to do this. No, can't remember. But I've been looking at some lady McElroy, I don't know how to pronounce it, for a while. I'm pretty frugal, as you know, so I had to wait to find offers, but I did get a metre of this one from Beyond the Pink Door. How gorgeous is that? A metre of this one. Look at that. Now I've gone for a metre because I feel that I could easily pair that with like some lilac for the like facing, same as this one, some green, and just like a short sleeve, like nice top or something, not something overly fancy. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? Then I found this sweatshirt, and she had this on offer. I know it's a French terry, sorry, I think. Yeah, that's me in a fabric. When I went on the shopping trip yesterday, I picked up a fabric and everyone went, that's just you. So clearly people are beginning to get to know my style. Just can you imagine that in this bat wing, and maybe like a plain colour in that piece there, or a plain one with this in. Oh, right. And then this, I think this was a remnant, but again, is it a fleece back? It's a fleece backed, and I thought this would make a nice sleeveless one because leopard is a neutral, and I thought this would just fit really nicely over things. And the lovely Adele from Sofa Serenity got the idea to do the Max T, and I'm really sorry, from another lady, and as like a sort of, it's really hard to know the name, right? Because a tank top in the UK is often just like a t-shirt without sleeves. But a sleeveless jumper or sleeveless sweatshirt often gives you the ones with the hoodies. In the US, it's called a sweater vest. But then when you start searching for those, you get knitting patterns. So I've had real trouble finding patterns to the point where I'm going to try the one Adele tried, and then I'm probably going to create a pattern because I love that sleeveless thing over the top. Then I got this Lady McElroy one. I got 2 meters of this one. That reminds me of a Bowden print I had years ago on like a 50s style dress. So little selection there. Got to find somewhere to put that. So I thought I would just show you. And you know, the way it was all folded, not rolled, because I'm not sure where to roll it and put it at the moment. So that tells me I need to stop, doesn't it? Right, so quite a short one today. So the final bit of today is me just telling you what I've been watching, reading, thinking about. So I've fallen down a hole of watching programs about celebrities. Now, I'm not a big like celebrity person. I do not like programs like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. But I've fallen down a hole. Netflix have gone through a spate of releasing quite a few programs. So if you haven't seen it, I watched the Arnie one, which came out a while ago. It's a good few months ago. My goodness, that man. He is so driven. He's really open about the mistakes he's made. But the journey he's been on in his life, I've always watched him in films since I was growing up. I remember as a teenager loving Kindergarten Cop. I remember watching Total Recall, Terminator. He was quite a major actor in my teens for me, but never really gone beyond that. The respect I have for him, for how driven he's been and thoughtful in his life, and admitting the mistakes he's made. He has made mistakes, haven't we all? But his mistakes are in public and they're not great. And I'm not saying I approve of those, because I don't, but I found the programme really interesting and captivating. So anyway, they've recently now released a film called Sly. He's another person who I've never really thought anything of him other than that he's in films like Rocky and things. Now, I'm not a big Rocky fan. My other half loves them. He paints, he writes poetry. And did you know, you might do, and you might be shouting at me, how did you not know that? He wrote and directed the Rocky films. He, again, is a man with way greater depth, and maybe I should never take someone at surface level. Okay, I accept that, but I was very surprised. It was quite an interesting program. So if you're looking for something that sort of gives you a bit of a surprise, that's a great one too. And then we watched the Beckham program, and I watched the Robbie Williams one quite close, and I had a really interesting review about them. I'm not a big football fan, but I found the Beckham one quite interesting because, again, I've sort of grown up with them as individuals, then into a relationship, and then where they are now. David Beckham has had work done, I think. And again, that might not be news to you, but I don't really think about those things till I'm watching him on my TV and think about it. That one was a very gentle one, and I think I heard a review that said he was interviewed by a friend and they had the final approval, so it didn't go to anywhere uncomfortable. But the Robbie one, yes, he spent the most of it in his pants and a tank top on his bed. I was never a Take That fan, by the way, but the journey he goes on talking about his mental health and the challenges he went through. Now, I remember when he left Take That, and I can't remember who, I feel like it might have been my mum, said, oh, he's a bit arrogant. I always had a strange affiliation for Robbie and not Take That, and I don't know why when I was younger. Now I think I do. I think it's because I kind of knew there was more to him that he was hiding. And when you get to episode 4 where he talks about his wife, it's a really interesting program, even if you're not a big Take That fan. I know I was speaking to someone, they said they had to turn it off because they got annoyed with him. He isn't reticent about everything, but are we all? But I thought it was, again, quite a heartfelt, interesting program, and the person who produced / directed it said in the review that I listened to, podcast by the way called Backstage, if you like a TV film review thing, said that he insists on having the final veto on anything that he does, not the celebrities. They don't have the final cut. And I think you can tell that in the difference between the Beckham and the Robbie one. And my final suggestion for you today is, if you're looking for a game to play, we're a big family that play games, but we don't play the traditional ones like Monopoly, Cluedo, because they're just not as great as some of the other games out there, is Ticket to Ride. It's a great game because it's easy to adapt if you want to play in pairs, etc. as a family. You're building train lines across either Europe or America, depending on which version you buy. We've played it with like 10 people, where we were in like mini teams. We play it regularly as a family of 2 and 3. You can make it easier or harder if you use the stations or not, or by how many routes you have. You could make it shorter by saying the first person to get to a number of points. It's a really adaptable game. So that's my final tip for today. If you're looking for something, you might be looking for a gift for someone that's a game, Ticket to Ride is a brilliant one. So I hope you have a good week. I'll catch you soon. Watch out for me popping up in various places, and I'll see you soon. Bye.